Hello and welcome back to the channel. Whenever the discussion about the perfect one-car garage is had, it normally doesn't take too long until you start discussing options that are simply unobtainable for the majority of the motoring public. However, there's a new option that's kind of crept up on us unawares. The humble utility, aka the ute. The utility was born from necessity, farmers needing to carry around hay and livestock, meaning that utes were extremely basic and agricultural by nature, hardly fitting of being the choice for a one-car garage. The first time you lay eyes on the Nissan Navara Pro 4X, the words basic and agricultural are immediately removed from mind. Nissan has gone all out to make sure that the Pro 4X looks sporty and capable. Flared wheel arches, black accents, steel grey paint and lashings of red in the logo and around the body ensure that you know you're dealing with some serious metal. The black sports bar matched with the black alloy wheels shod in Yokohama Geolandar all-terrain tyres give you the sense that the Pro 4X is not just a show pony, it's happy to get dirty too. So as you climb into the cabin of the Pro 4X, there's a side step if you need it, you immediately see just how well equipped this ute is. As I said, basic and agricultural just can't be used for this ute. Leather seats, complete with a Pro 4X logo, just to let you know that you're in the top dog, are really comfortable even over longer distances, although the lack of heated seating is noticeable. Rear legroom is reasonable, especially if you're going to ferry the family around, and thanks to two ISOFIX points, the whole family is catered for. The gauge cluster is a well laid out unit with all important information easy to read either via the analog gauges or the LCD screen in the middle of the cluster. An 8-inch infotainment screen sits just above the dual zone climate controls and it fills the centre of the dash perfectly. It's bright, vivid and extremely easy to navigate, especially once you have your phone plugged into the front USB port and are utilising Apple CarPlay. Android Auto is also present. The screen remains responsive to touch inputs while moving, which makes scrolling through podcasts or phone functions while driving a breeze. Throughout our week with the Pro 4X, we did notice that the screen could become laggy at times. There didn't appear to be a particular reason for this, and we weren't able to replicate the issue on demand. However, it did occur 3 or 4 times throughout the week. The speakers in the Pro 4X are not an audiophile's dream. However, they do an adequate job of filling the cabin without feeling as though you have to crank the volume all the way up. Phone calls come through crystal clear, and your voice comes through on the other side loud and clear as well. The steering wheel is upholstered beautifully and can be at home at a much higher priced car. Navigating through cruise control or radio controls is simple and intuitive, meaning that you don't need to take your eyes off of the road. There is a noticeable lack of adjustment though. You can only move the steering wheel up or down rather than towards you. Interior storage is covered off by a deep storage bin between the front seats, complete with a 12-volt socket, USB-A and USB-C ports. Generously sized door bins all round will hold a larger water bottle and have space to spare. Plus, there's a sizable glove box up front. The rear seats can be folded upwards and attached via a loop to open up slightly more floor space. Rear occupants have their own USB port as well. A contender for the one-car garage needs to be able to fulfill a wide range of requirements. Space, comfort, style, capability and affordability are all metrics that need to be met. So far the Navara Pro 4X has ticked the space, comfort and style boxes while parked up, but whether it can continue to impress out on the road is the question begging to be answered. Powered by a 2.3 litre, 4-cylinder twin-turbo diesel engine, mated to your choice of a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic gearbox, the 140 kilowatt of power and 450 newton meters of torque is put to the ground via the rear wheels, with the option to engage 4-wheel drive in high and low range modes. The rear diff can also be locked for more adventurous situations. So driving the Pro 4 Max is a bit of a mixed bag, to be honest. Even though it has plenty of torque, numbers wise, it doesn't seem to be able to overcome the Pro 4X's heft. What that means is that when you pull away from lights, move around town, it just feels like it's a bit lethargic, that you have to put in a lot more throttle than you may have expected. When you're moving along though, it does move comfortably. The 7-speed automatic gearbox, as tested, never feels like it gets out of sorts. It always seems to be able to swap gears without fuss or fanfare, and it does a great job of just being nice and smooth. There's also a drive mode select near the gear stick, which allows you to cycle between standard, sport and off-road, although we found that basically putting it in sport mode just held gears unnecessarily long. It didn't actually give you any sort of performance gain. A really impressive aspect of the Pro 4X has been its suspension. I expected it to be a little bit jittery and bumpy, but to be honest, it's remained calm, composed, especially on the highway, but even when it comes to rougher, coarser, or even more uneven road surfaces, the Pro 4X does a great job of ironing out any imperfections in the road. Another great thing is how it handles road noise. Once again, we're on all-terrain tyres, and yet there's no noticeable road noise that comes through the cabin. There's no tyre roar, no wind noise. That means that it's a very calm and pleasant place to be, even over longer distances, which is actually quite surprising. The only caveat to that is that you do hear the engine working away, especially when going uphill. Ultimately, what surprised me the most is just how car-like the Pro 4X is. I know that might sound a little bit strange, but I was expecting it to feel like a ute, just this big, bulbous, jittery thing on wheels, but despite the fact it obviously is geared to be able to tackle the tough stuff well, it does behave itself really well out on the road. The suspension is compliant, the cabin is calm. It means that you can drive this on road and not feel fatigued, even if you are going to do a longer journey. Okay, so putting the Nissan Navara Pro 4X forward as a perfect one-car garage might be stretching the friendship just a little bit. However, there's no denying that it's a real solid option for those who want to be able to drive on-road, but also have the option of going off of it. It has the tough stuff covered, with its carrying and towing capabilities, its all-terrain tyres, its hill descent control, as well as its four-wheel drive modes. It has the family stuff covered with ample storage, safety features, tech on board, as well as a good amount of room. It then has the driving stuff covered with its compliant suspension, low road noise. It actually makes the Nissan Navara Pro 4X a pleasure to drive. So what do you think? Is this something that you'd have as a one-car garage? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, massive thank you to Exhaust Notes Australia, who provided the Navara Pro 4X to me for the week to make this video. You can head over to Exhaust Notes website to check out my written review of the Pro 4X, as well as all other written reviews and news of Australian motoring. As always, massive thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.